好，我们下一位报告者是王英芬老师，国立台湾大学。Our next speaker is Professor Yingfen Wang from National Taiwan University. Her title is Towards a New Era for the Study of Taiwan Music. 她的中文题目叫迈向台湾音乐研究的新纪元。
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Can you see my PowerPoint?
Perfect.
It's not mine. Oh, is it mine? Oh, okay, good. Okay, great. So I can start now.
Yes.
Okay, good. Actually, I made a little change to the title of my paper. Instead of just to say the study of Taiwan music, I'm adding history at the end. So my emphasis is the study of Taiwan music history rather than just Taiwan music. And in my presentation, I will briefly explain how the colonial history of Taiwan has influenced Taiwan music. I will then point out the limitations of past studies and then outline the recent breakthroughs and the challenges that we are facing. Finally, I will make suggestions for the future development of musicology in general. In the past few centuries, the development of Taiwan music has been closely connected to its colonial history. Taiwan has been colonized by a series of colonizers since the 17th century, including the Dutch, the Spanish, the Chinese, and the Japanese. The immigrants that came to Taiwan in different colonial periods brought their music to the island. The colonizers and their colonial policies further influenced Taiwan's musical life. Among these colonizers, the Japanese brought drastic changes to Taiwan music. Most importantly, they brought Western music into Taiwan as a tool for disciplining the islanders. Furthermore, the churches and modern technology, such as records and radios, further helped disseminate Western music to the Taiwan public. Thus, as a symbol of enlightenment, Western music was deeply rooted in Taiwan society and fundamentally changed Taiwan's musical life. These changes were closely connected with the pursuit of modernity in Taiwan society in the 1920s and 30s. And such changes continued to affect Taiwan's musical life until now. After the lifting of martial law in Taiwan in 1987, there was a rapid rise of so-called Taiwanese consciousness. As a result, musicologists in Taiwan saw an increasing need for the study of Taiwan music history. However, our past research faced many difficulties, such as the multi-ethnic nature of Taiwan music, as well as the many languages involved for the study of Taiwan music history. Most importantly, we were hindered by our lack of knowledge of Taiwan history and historical sources. Furthermore, most of us have not been trained sufficiently in historical studies. And another important factor relates to the fact that most of the people in Taiwan were alienated from our colonial past due to nationalist government's cultural policy. Therefore, most of the past studies relied heavily on oral history and field interviews without being able to verify and supplement them with historical source materials. Since the year of 2000, however, there have been obvious breakthroughs in our studies due to the availability of some very exciting new historical sources, which in turn stimulated the development of some new approaches and perspectives. Therefore, I believe that the study of Taiwan music history has entered a new era. These historical source materials include historical recordings and their archival materials, newspaper electronic databases, as well as personal diaries. By historical recordings, I'm referring to field recordings made mostly by Japanese musicologists from the 1920s to the 1990s. In addition, there is a large amount of commercial recordings made in Taiwan from 1910s to 1940s. These historical recordings have prompted me to carry out two research projects in recent years. The first is a restudy of Kurosawa's wartime survey of Taiwan music in 1943. And the other one is a comparative study of record industries in Japan's colonies. And both of these research projects are joint research between